Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanantari Jamuna Tira Vanantari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaura Simanandi, Dayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa, Free Vrajagacharya Stotra Satya Sri Simar, His Divine Grace, Sarabhai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Skandi Biti, Founder Acharyas Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki, Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki, Janitai Gaura Pimanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyanantana Sarakaya Takshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhuktale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Dharam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta Prayashabhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed or practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamhitam Utamashloka Charitam Sakara Bhagavan Rishi Nisreyasaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastaya Namaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Om Surabhyaya Namaha. Mukam karoti vasalam pangom langayate girim. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam reading. We continue from Canto number 2, Chapter 2, entitled The Lord in the Heart. And we did a few extra verses yesterday, which brings us to text number 12, which has quite a long purport, a full 2-page purport. Adina Lila Ashitek Shano Lasad Bru Bhanga Sansuchita Samsuchita Bhuri Anugraham Ikshita Chintamayam Enam Ishvaram Yavan Mano Dharanaya Avatistate Adina Lila Hasitek Shano Lasad Bhrubhanga Samsuchita Puryanugraham Iksheta Chintamayam Enamishvaram Yavan Manodharanaya Vatistate. Adina Lila Hasitekshano Lasad Bhrubhanga Samsuchita Bhuryanugraham Iksheta Chintamayam Enam Ishvaram Yavan Manodharayana Vatistate. Adina, very magnanimous. Lila, pastimes. Hasita, smiling. Ikshana, by glancing over. Ulasat, glowing. Bhrubhanga, signals of the eyebrow. Samsuchita, indicated. Bhuri, extensive. Anugraham, benediction. Ikshita, one must concentrate on. Chintamayam, transcendental. Enam, this particular. Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Yavat, as long as. Manaha, the mind. Dharanaya, by meditation. Avatistate, can be fixed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of His smiling face are all indications of His extensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord, as long as the mind can be fixed on Him by meditation. Kindly repeat after me. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of His smiling face are all indications of His extensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord, as long as the mind can be fixed on Him by meditation. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is said that the impersonalist undergoes a series of difficult programs on account of his impersonal meditation. But the devotee, due to the Lord's personal service, progresses very easily. Impersonal meditation is therefore a source of suffering for the impersonalist. Here, the devotee has an advantage over the impersonalist philosopher. The impersonalist is doubtful about the personal feature of the Lord. And therefore, he always tries to meditate upon something which is not objective. For this reason, there is an authentic statement in the Bhagavatam regarding the positive concentration of the mind on the factual form of the Lord. The process of meditation recommended herein is Bhakti Yoga, or the process of devotional service after one is liberated from the material conditions. Jnana Yoga is the process of liberation from the material conditions. After one is liberated from the conditions of material existence, that is called the Brahma Bhuta platform. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakansati. That is before bhakti. Mm. So after one is liberated from the conditions of material existence, that is, when one is nivritta, as previously stated herein, when one is freed from all material conditions, one becomes qualified to discharge the process of bhakti. Therefore, bhakti yoga includes jnana yoga, or in other words, the process of pure devotional service simultaneously serves the purpose of jnana yoga. Liberation from material conditions is automatically achieved by the gradual development of pure devotional service. These effects of bhakti yoga are called anartha nivriti. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Sravana. Yes, Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Sravana, Anartha Nivriti, Nista. Things which are artificially acquired gradually disappear along with the process of bhakti yoga. Meditation on the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, the first processional steps must show its effect by anartha nivriti. Yes. So anartha nivriti comes after sadhu sangha. After nama kirtan, actually. Sadhu sangha, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti. The grossest type of anartha, which binds the conditioned soul in material existence, is sex desire. And this sex desire gradually develops in the union of the male and female. When the male and female are united, the sex desire is further aggravated by the accumulation of buildings, children, friends, relatives, and wealth. When all these are acquired, the conditioned soul becomes overwhelmed by such entanglements, and the false sense of egoism, or the sense of myself and mine, becomes prominent, and the sex desire expands to various political, social, altruistic, philanthropic, and many other unwanted engagements, resembling the foam of the sea waves, which becomes very prominent at one time and at the next moment vanishes as quickly as a cloud in the sky. The conditioned soul is encircled by such products, as well as products of sex desire, and therefore bhakti yoga leads to gradual evaporation of the sex desire, which is summarized in 3 headings, namely profit, adoration, and distinction. So one may regulate when they follow the four principles by regulating sex life. But here the point is being made that these three aspects of profit, adoration, and distinction is referred to as also subtle sex life. Yes, wanting recognition. All conditioned souls are mad after these different forms of sex desire, and one shall see for himself how much he has been freed from such material hankerings based primarily on the sex desire. As a person feels his hunger satisfied after eating each morsel of foodstuff, he must similarly be able to see the degree to which he has been freed from sex desire. The sex desire is diminished along with its various forms by the process of Bhakti Yoga, because Bhakti Yoga automatically, by the grace of the Lord, effectively results in knowledge and renunciation. Yes. Vasudeve Bhagavati, that verse. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Ayad Ahituki. So by the grace of the Lord, this Bhakti Yoga automatically results in knowledge and renunciation, even if the devotee is not materially very well educated. So it's not a question of going to university or not, or getting this education or that education. Knowledge, Prabhupada explains here, knowledge means knowing things as they are. And if by deliberation it is found that there are things which are at all unnecessary, naturally the person who has acquired knowledge leaves aside such unwanted things. When the conditioned soul finds by culture of knowledge that material necessities are unwanted things, he becomes detached from such unwanted things. This stage of knowledge is called vairagya, or detachment from unwanted things. We have previously discussed that the transcendentalist is required to be self-sufficient and should not beg from the rich, blind persons to fulfill the bare necessities of life. Shukadeva Goswami has suggested some alternatives for the bare necessities of life, namely the problem of eating, sleeping, and shelter. But he has not suggested any alternative. Let me read that again. Shukadeva Goswami has suggested some alternatives for the bare necessities of life, namely the problem of eating, sleeping, and shelter, but he has not suggested any alternative for sex satisfaction. One who has the sex desire still with him should not at all try to accept the renounced order of life. For one who has not attained to this level, there is no question of the renounced order of life. So, by the gradual process of devotional service, under the guidance of a proper spiritual master and following the principles of the Bhagavatam, one must be able to at least to control the gross sex desire. One accepts the renounced order of life factually. So purification means getting free gradually from sex desire, and this is attained by meditation on the personal or on the person of the Lord, as described herein, beginning from the feet. One should not try to go upwards artificially without seeing for himself how much he has been released from the sex desire. The smiling face of the Lord in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the smiling face of the Lord is in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are many upstarts who at once try to begin with the 10th canto, and especially with the first 5 chapters which delineate the Rasa Leela of the Lord. And this is certainly improper. By such improper study or hearing of Bhagavatam, the material opportunists have played havoc by indulgence in sex life in the name of Bhagavatam. That was especially the situation during the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. At that time, since many decades, actually, history shows us that since the last 300 years approximately, the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was in its pure, unadulterated form, during the time the Lord performed his pastimes in Navadvip, became adulterated over the course of time. And we know the term Sahajya, persons who were followers of Lord Chaitanya, in the name of Lord Chaitanya, chanting the holy name, wearing Vaishnav dress, tilak, everything, had manufactured their own understanding of what was bhakti. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as we know, had to struggle very, very hard to present the actual philosophy of Krishna consciousness, in dealing especially with this major deviation that was there Mm. In the name of the Bhagavatam, in the name of the chanting of the holy name, people were engaged in sinful activities. So this is what is referred to here. By such improper study or hearing of Bhagavatam, unless one studies or hears the Bhagavatam under the guidance and direction of proper authorities, then one will tend to misunderstand. So by such improper study and hearing of Bhagavatam, the material opportunities or the material opportunists have played havoc by indulgence in sex life in the name of the Bhagavatam. This vilification of Bhagavatam is rendered by the acts of the so-called devotees. One should be free from all kinds of sex desire before he tries to make a show of recital of Bhagavatam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clearly defines the import of purification as cessation from sex indulgence. He says, Yatha yatha dishcha shuddhyati vishaya lampatyam tyajati tatha tatha dharayat iti chitta shuddhi taratam yenaiva jnana taratamyam uktam. And as one gets free from the intoxication, it's a kind of intoxication, addiction. Just like some people become addicted to alcohol. Similarly, one becomes addicted to sex life. And as one gets free from the intoxication of sex indulgence by purification of intelligence, one should step forward for the next meditation, or, in other words, the progress of meditation on the different limbs of the transcendental body of the Lord should be enhanced in proportion to the progress of purification of the heart. The conclusion is that those who are still entrapped by sex indulgence should never progress to meditation above the feet of the Lord. Therefore, recital of Srimad Bhagavatam by them should be restricted to the first and second canto of the great literature. Yeah. One must complete the purificatory process by assimilating the contents of the first 9 cantos. Then one should be admitted into the realm of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So very important. So first and second chapter are very powerful, especially the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada gave a special care to put the entire philosophy of Krishna consciousness in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. not knowing that he would be able to finish translating actually the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a reminder. Our main reason for lack of progress in spiritual life, or to put it in another way, for those who are serious to attain success in spiritual life, one must become detached from activities of sense gratification, which are especially prominent in the matter of sex life. So therefore, that is one of the what we call 4 pillars of dharma. Tapa, satyam, daya, tapa, saucham. So this this is the text again, text number 12. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of his smiling face are all indications of his extensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord as long as the mind can be fixed on him by meditation. Yeah. Any questions?
Here, whole purpose is focusing on the only for who has the desire for sex life. They have to concentrate on the personal form of the Lord. Is there only that focus that somebody has the desire, they have to focus? But our focus is like more than that, not only the.
Prabhupada explains actually, so the question is it, the whole purport is speaking about sex attraction and the need to focus on the personal form of the Lord. So you're asking whether that is sufficient or whether there's something else.
That is the goal, but our goal is the end of that.
No, our goal is to actually understand that personal form of the Lord. Not simply understand it, but actually establish our natural spiritual relationship with that form of the Lord. That's why Srila Prabhupada recommended that those who are grihasthas, because in householder life is where there is opportunity for sex life. Grihastha life is a concession, as we know, for regulated sense gratification, which includes sex life, but sex life for the purpose of procreation, having giving an opportunity for souls to take birth in a family of devotees. So Prabhupada recommended that to regulate and to minimize the attraction that is there, the attraction to the opposite sex, the attraction for sex life, householders should perform deity worship. They should have the personal form of the Lord in the initial stage of Shishigornitai, and then at a later stage, as one is more advanced, more purified, then one can worship the personal form of Sri Radha and Krishna. By nicely performing a puja, by nicely worshipping that personal form of the Lord, then that will take away one's attraction to, especially in the matter of householder life, there is this natural attraction between husband and wife. So that attraction, that bodily attraction, will be regulated or will be controlled or be purified, so that their attraction is not to one another, but their attraction is towards together serving the lotus feet of the Lord. You see, yeah. All living entities, unless they come to that position, and this is one of the important instructions given in the purport, that only this process of bhakti yoga, because bhakti opens the doors to establishing our personal relationship with Krishna, isn't it? Bhakti is all about awakening, developing our love and devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That is the perfection of love. That's the perfection of relationship. So until that is developed, then we are, especially those who are not Krishna conscious, are caught up on the bodily platform, on the bodily relationships. So we need to transfer the attraction that is there on the bodily platform to where it will, where it is meant to actually become fully satisfied. One's inclination and one's desire for love and affection can only become fully satiated or satisfied when it comes, or when it is directed at the lotus feet of the Lord. So, so therefore, deity worship is especially recommended for householders, but it is also in the beginning stage, even in the advanced stage, because we worship the Lord, just like the Goswamis, they all had their personal deities. They worship till the end of their life. Yeah. Okay, we can stop here for now. Now we have to do something now. Please give it here. Give it here. Jai Grantaraj. Just give the whole thing.
Shall I turn this way?
Just bring here. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yeah. Oh, I could have done something.
Rotate no, here. Side.
Well,
No, this side, yeah. Oh, yeah.
this one, huh?
Yes, okay.
What is that? Yes.
Now then we have to save that on.